Hello there, all you denizens of the internet. My name is Justin. This is the Den of Nerds, and today we are talking Persona 5. Now, before I get into any of this, I'm just going to throw out a disclaimer there so Atlas doesn't take me away to spoiler jail. Yes, there are spoilers in this video. Yes, I will be mentioning some sort of themes and maybe some plot points related to Persona 5. So there you go, Atlas. There is my warning here on the title screen. Do not take me to spoiler jail. The people know. Okay, so starting into this, I am halfway through Persona 5 right now. I am 50 hours in. The game is incredibly good so far. It's got a solid battle system. You'll see here from the opening that it just oozes style in every single aspect of the game, and it has a killer acid jazz soundtrack. Just like all the other previous Persona OSTs, I'll definitely be listening to this one in my free time. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I can save a lot of that stuff for my review, which will be coming up in the coming months. There is something I want to talk about that I can't fit into my review, though, and I'm sure you've already seen that from the title. Polygon released their review of Persona 5, and one of the things they said in it, Philip Collar, the person who wrote the review, says that Persona 5 is the most millennial game I have ever played. And after I read this before I played the game, and I started thinking, well, what does that mean? Like, am I going to start thinking this way? And long story short, that this statement is true. This statement is absolutely, completely true. Persona 5 is the most millennial game ever. And it accomplishes that in a number of ways that I'm going to go into with you guys. So we start with the main theme of Persona 5. The main theme of this game is rebellion. Rebelling against an unjust society that doesn't understand the youth. Rebelling against cruel adults who further profit by stealing the futures of the young and the weak. Persona 5 has plenty of antagonists that really fit this theme. Really fit the whole, ideal of the younger generation, that the old are basically staying in power for too long or are exploiting what they have built up over their lifetime, and just basically see the young as tools to further their own gain, their own prestige, power, money, what have you. I'm obviously not saying this applies to everyone. This is just a theme that Persona 5 throws at you in the center of the story quite brazenly, as a matter of fact. It's not really that subtle. You get to see this enacted out in front of your face in a number of ways. This rebellion against these people are enacted by the Phantom Thieves, a group of people that have the power to change somebody's heart. This isn't done in a stereotypical, I'll talk and reason to this person, anime friendship changes the world sort of deal, but this is done in clear, definable ways, tackling all of these incredibly believable social issues that we see pop up within the game. The earliest example being, some sort of teacher who is basically using his position at a school for his own personal gain. I won't get too far into that in fear that the spoiler police are going to come and get me. Yes, this story is a work of fiction. Similarities between characters or events to persons living or dead in your world are purely coincidental. And I feel like this thing right here is very powerful. Further talks into that whole theme of rebellion, you having to actually accept this to play the game. This is just Persona 5 straight up telling you that this is going to be a real commentary on real world events. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the writers took some of the things being presented to them as things they experienced in their own life. Moving on and further supporting this whole theme of rebellion against the older generation is the cast. The cast, regardless of age, is all made up of the outlaws of society. The only backstory I'll really go into at this point is Joker's, but that's just because it was pretty well known before the game came out, and you're going to see Joker really quickly, quite proficient, for quite a bit actually. Sorry. You're going to see Joker here in this scene in this casino, the main character. Joker's whole backstory goes into him basically saving a woman from being assaulted. It's the right thing to do. He figures all that good stuff. Unfortunately, the man who was assaulting her has a lot of power behind him, and he uses that to sort of twist the whole situation, make it look like Joker was assaulting him, and he gets sent away to live in Tokyo. And that is where the game begins. We end up getting a bunch of additional characters as well, who, in different ways, were either used by society, be they a disgraced politician who talks about basically the main theme of the game, how the old are exploiting the youth. You end up having a functioning alcoholic of a journalist that's desperate for a scoop because some of the ways that her boss was treating her ended up getting her moved away to a different position of a company. You end up having, even within your own party, an artist who isn't really understood by society because society as a whole considers him weird. You have a female character who really deals with the fact that, her beauty is what's holding her down. Her beauty is a stigma. Uh, Adults only really see her as valuable as her body. You have a student council president who is trying to break away from the whole good student norm. And there's just so many characters who end up falling into this theme and who all end up being exploited by society in some way, being helped by Joker, and end up becoming a confidant, a person who trusts you just because of the way Joker navigates in these social situations. And all of these characters, all of these plot points together, basically form together to build up to what can be considered a millennial ideal. I'm reminded of a quote from that John Waters said at a commencement speech. Just every single time I see this point hammered home in Persona 5. Horrify us with new ideas, outrage outdated critics, use technology for transgression, not lazy social living, make me nervous. Persona 5 definitely accomplishes this. The Phantom Thieves as a whole end up making a lot of these older people nervous. These palaces you're infiltrating to change people's hearts just end up getting more and more guarded by the day as word of what you are doing within society has spread. And you do that. You do exactly what John Waters has said. You, as this young boy in Japan, end up doing everything you can to make adults nervous and to enact societal change because you believe that is the right thing to do, and you believe that just simply discussing that option has been thrown completely off the table. Be it that, you don't believe you'll be able to articulate your ideas in a way that will make them listen, or if they just won't listen to you because of your age. There's so many ways that you can come to the conclusion for the Phantom Thieves deciding to do what they've done, and they do really end up doing this. They end up just being this force for societal change, and it really ends up just bringing this whole theme of the game together and ends up pushing home this message that, change is coming. Whether it's forced upon the older generation by the young, or whether the older generation starts to listen to the young and accepts that this societal change is coming. And if the older generation continues to resist, it's only a matter of time before the young will act. And we see the young acting right here in the form of the Phantom Thieves. And this is right about where my footage ended up cutting out. The game wouldn't let me record anymore because of Atlas's little embargo on footage, so it's going to end up cutting out here in just a second. I want to ask you guys, what do you guys think? Do you think that all of the themes I've mentioned have some sort of worth? Do you think that Persona 5 is really this crazy, millennial game, this thing commenting about change? Is it really trying to, push this forward and make this ideal known in society? Or do you really just think I'm reading too much into it and just need to accept that it's just my weird, creepy, crazy anime game, or what have you? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about these themes, or if you've seen any other games that have ended up exploring a theme similar to this. if you are playing Persona 5 right now, do you agree with me? Do you think that Persona 5 is doing a really good job at going ahead and spreading this idea? Please let me know in the comments. I'd really like to know. My Persona 5 review in and of itself will be coming out as soon as I'm done. I'm working tirelessly to try and get this to you guys. But I really hope that in the meantime, while you're all waiting for me to get through this massive game, that this video was a nice piece of content and it really ends up helping you think. This is Justin from the Den of Nerds, and thank you for watching. I will catch you later.